Why did my roommate thank me for getting her fired? My roommate Ellie always bragged about her perfect office job at this high-end marketing firm downtown. Designer clothes every day, fancy lunches at expensive restaurants, constantly posting Instagram stories about her amazing boss who really gets her potential and sees something special in her. But something felt seriously off. She'd physically flinch whenever her phone buzzed with work messages, like she was expecting bad news. She'd change clothes 3 or 4 times before leaving for work, asking me frantically if her outfit looked professional enough or if her makeup was too much. And she never, ever ate lunch at home anymore, claiming she was too busy or had important meetings. The weird part? She used to love cooking elaborate weekend brunches for us. Now she barely touched food at home. I thought she was just busy, living her dream life. Meanwhile, her dream was slowly starving her literally. She wasn't skipping brunch, she was skipping meals. On command. One morning, I was running late for class and accidentally grabbed her phone instead of mine from the kitchen counter. A text from her boss popped up on the lock screen. Wear the blue dress tomorrow. The gray one makes you look desperate for attention. Also, skip breakfast again. You looked bloated during yesterday's presentation. My stomach dropped. I screenshot it and kept scrolling through their message thread. Message after message of him controlling what she wore, when she ate, how she styled her hair, even critiquing her posture during meetings. Professional development, he called it. There were texts about her needing to earn her lunch breaks by completing extra tasks. Messages telling her to wear her hair down because updos age you. Even instructions about which perfume to use because her usual scent was distracting to male clients. I felt sick reading it all. This wasn't professional development, this was psychological manipulation disguised as career guidance. I showed up to her office the next day with printed screenshots and went straight to HR. The receptionist tried to stop me, but I insisted it was urgent. The HR director took one look at the evidence and immediately called an emergency meeting. Ellie got called in within minutes. Her boss was fired within the hour, escorted out by security with his personal items in a cardboard box. I expected her to be upset, maybe even angry at me for interfering in her career without permission. I thought she might see it as a betrayal, especially since she'd always spoken so highly of him. Instead, she showed up at our apartment that evening, still in her work clothes, and hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. Then she started crying, not just tears, but full-body sobs like she'd been holding them back for months. I was too scared to speak up, she whispered between sobs. He said I was lucky to have someone who cared enough to make me better, that other bosses wouldn't put in this kind of personal attention to help me succeed. She told me how it started small, just helpful suggestions about her appearance during her first week. Then it escalated to controlling her schedule, her social media posts, even suggesting she distance herself from friends who might distract her from her goals. The worst part? Turns out he'd been doing this exact same thing to multiple women in the office over the years. They were all too afraid to report it because he was so respected in the company, and he'd convinced each of them that his behavior was normal mentorship. Ellie's perfect boss was systematically breaking down her self-confidence and independence, making her dependent on his approval for everything from her appearance to her self-worth. 3 months later, Ellie got promoted to his old position. She's thriving now, eating lunch again, wearing whatever makes her feel confident. She keeps the printed screenshots in her desk drawer as a reminder of how manipulation can disguise itself as mentorship. The other women he'd been controlling, they all came forward after he was fired. The company ended up implementing new policies about workplace boundaries and power dynamics. Ellie spearheaded the initiative. She still thanks me sometimes, but now I realize she didn't need me to save her. She just needed someone to help her see clearly what was happening.